Hello fellow book nerds, my name is Gabby and today I'm saying goodbye to some friends. Today we're doing an Unhaul video and I've never done one before because I don't even buy that many books, but somehow they accumulate. But last time I was moving, so I was getting rid of my books and I just kind of put them in the little communal library and I was like, you take them guys, it's fine, I'll be fine. And then I was really sad. But I'm moving again. I am gonna be moving in with some friends in our own brand new apartment. We've chosen the apartment. I'm so excited. But there's not that much space there. As in so it's alright. But I definitely can't fit a bookshelf in my room. So I'm hoping to fit a bookshelf in the living room. However, there's probably only space for one and already 2 boxes worth of my books are up in the attic. And I kind of want them back, you know? So I thought, let me film this Unhaul. I'm getting rid of about 12 books, which doesn't sound crazy, but it's a decent amount. No, there's still quite a lot of books, but it's alright. There's some that I'm still debating, you know. I'm like, will I ever read you? Probably not, but I'm kind of curious, but probably not. So yeah, we have 12 books. I think all but one I've read these books, so I know I'm not just getting rid of them because I know I've read them. Some of them I really enjoyed. I just don't think I'll ever reread them because unless it's a favorite or maybe a very philosophical complicated book, I don't really even read them. Things like fantasy, if I didn't absolutely love it, or thrillers. I don't even buy thrillers because I know I'm never gonna read them, so that's that. Some of the books I kept are sentimental values, so I'm keeping them, but these books I'm okay. They can go make someone else happy, you know? Without further ado, let's just get into the first book. So the first book I'm unhauling is Follow Me to Ground by Sue Rainsford. So I bought this book purely because Books and Lala was recommending it and I was like, sounds so fascinating, what's so it's super vague, but it's basically about this girl Ada who lives with her father and they're not humans, and they basically have this magical piece of ground in their backyard where they put people in the ground. They can heal them and stuff, so they're kind of regional healers or whatever. And I didn't dislike it. I quite enjoy it actually. I thought it was so unique. It's so different than what I've read before. It's just I don't think I'll read it again. I don't feel like I need to get more out of it. I kind of remember quite well what happened. Ooh. Almost gave that away. So the second book is Pet by Kweke Emedi, and this is a middle grade / young YA, and we follow a girl called Jam who's a black transgender girl, and she lives in this city where there are no monsters, everything's perfect, society evolved to be perfect, whatever. And one day one of her mother's paintings comes to life, and out of it comes out this monster or this creature called Pet, and the pet says that there's a monster in a community and they have to take care of it. So I really enjoyed this. I actually thought it was brilliant, beautiful. Everyone should read it. I just don't think I'll reread it because it was good for what it was and it was good in the moment, but contemporaries and thrillers I never ever reread. The only book really that I reread is maybe a contemporary if I really enjoyed it, for example Perks of Being a Wallflower, or a fantasy that I'm crazy about, so then I'll read it. But books like this I don't really reread, so I don't see why I should be hanging on to it, and I'm sure someone else will love it. The next book is A Diary of a Murderer by Kim Young-ha. So this is a book translated from Korean by a Korean author. So this is a short story collection, but the main big short story from this is about this serial killer who went retired basically, but thinks it's time for one last kill because his daughter's boyfriend's dodgy. I enjoyed this. I didn't realize it was a short story collection. I read this for a video where I read translated books and I enjoyed it, like I said, but I wasn't crazy insane about it. And I just don't think it's something I'll ever reread, but it was a good book. Well, actually, I did really enjoy it. It was really good, just never reread it, so what's the point in owning it, you know? Next up, we have The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. So this book is another book I read for that Reading Translated Works video. This book is translated from Japanese, and we follow this island where things disappear and people forget them. So for example, let's say a book disappears, or is forgotten, and the book itself exists, like the physical objects exist, it just people forget the meaning of it, they forget the emotions associated with it, the purpose of it, and it just kind of fades away into nothingness because of that, because people just don't use it. It was alright. I didn't love this book because it was completely different than what I expected. For some reason, the way I heard it pitched kind of sounded like a sci-fi, like a high-stakes sci-fi. Definitely a bit of a sci-fi, but it's a very, very slow, thoughtful book that was good, but I would never reread it, and I don't think I'll be bothered if it's not on my shelves. The next book is Love Beyond Body, Space and Time, an Indigenous LGBT Sci-Fi Anthology, edited by Hope Nicholson. So this is an anthology collection of short stories by Indigenous authors who all talk about different sides of like gender and LGBTQ spectrum and all of that, often using the two-spirit concept. It was good, like I really enjoyed this. Actually, I thought it was brilliant, but I'm not gonna read it like ever, so it's just the same thing. Like I enjoyed it, I thought it was really good, but this was actually really expensive, so hopefully like someone can get it cheap, or if I'm giving it to a library, which I haven't decided, someone will get it for free, you know, so like hopefully they'll get to read these amazing stories that I would never pick up again, so why bother. And I also read this for a video. I think it was the Buzz Wordathon video. The next book is Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. So this is a sci-fi YA novel told in like multimedia format. So as you can see, there's a bunch of like files and all that kind of thing. And like I bought it physically because I knew I wanted to read it like that, because it definitely adds to the experience. I actually thought this was a brilliant book. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I think it built on tension amazingly. It really was like really fun. But I'm never reading it. Yes, say it with me. I'm never gonna reread it. I bought it secondhand anyway. But it's in like a really good condition. Okay, the next book is Normal People by Sally Rooney, and this is the only book I've never read, and it's ironic that I've never read it because this is the one with like damage in it. I never read it, and I bought it because it was like really cheap on Book Depository. I think it was on sale and it was like really cheap. But like I don't care for reading it. I don't think I'll ever read it. I'm not bothered. The story doesn't even sound like it's for me. I know it's about two people like falling in love, but they're both lousy people, and I just really don't enjoy that. Like contemporary with lousy people as protagonists and a romance that's not even healthy, like I'm not here for it. So I just don't think I'll ever read it. Like I've been holding on to this thinking, oh, one day I'll pick it up, but like I won't. I don't care. And there's a show. If I want to know what the story's about, just read the show. Read the show, watch the show. The next book is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. So this one I got from my boyfriend's mom, and she was gonna get rid of it, but I was like, no, please, I want to read it. And I did, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good book, but again, not a rereadable book. The more time passes, the more I'm like, did I enjoy it? I really can't tell. It was definitely trippy. So this one is a dark academia book where we follow this one guy that goes to the school and starts learning Latin, but the Latin club or the Latin classroom's only like 5 people or something, and all of them are kind of wacky and all of them are very ambitious. And I don't know if it's a spoiler, so I'm not gonna say because it happens quite far, but basically they're like testing boundaries of morality and what's not. And it was good, it was interesting. Just not gonna read it because it's kind of like the thing's done, I know what's gonna happen, but I actually would recommend it. I think it was a good book. Now we're getting into my hardbacks, and this is so hard because I only buy a hardback if the book is gorgeous or like I'm really excited about the author releasing a new book, because the cover's so pretty. Like I don't want to get rid of them, but at the same time I only see the spine anyway, so it's not like I can see the book being beautiful. I'm never gonna read them because I enjoy them, but like I didn't love them to an extent of rereading them. And I'm just thinking they take up so much space because they're so thick and big. I feel bad because I bought them just for the aesthetic, but like I can't even see the aesthetic if it's just, you know, that's fine. I'm not gonna just sit there and look at them. Like before I buy them, they have this potential of being my next favorite book and being beautiful, so I feel fine about it. But once I've read it and I know they're not my next favorite book, I'm a bit like, goodbye, you know what I mean? So the first book is the Bone Criers movie by Catherine Purdy. So this is a gorgeous cover, really gorgeous book. I really like, you know, all of the aesthetics, and I actually did enjoy this book. So in this one we follow Bone Criers, who are these like farriers of the dead, so they have to take over the dead to the afterlife, and they have to go through this ritual of killing their one true love or their soulmate in order to gain their powers. And when one of the main characters goes to do this ritual, person who gets summoned is a guy that was killed when he was little by a bone crier, so he has like a vendetta against them and is trying to kill them. It's an enemies to lovers, and I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of good things about female friendship, which I really love, and the friendship was so strong in this one. Really loved it. The whole book was enjoyable. I'm gonna read the sequel, but I have it on script, so I think I'm just gonna listen to it. Like, I didn't think, although it was gorgeous, I didn't think I wanted to own it. Like, I'm trying to be really strict about this, because I used to just like either not buy anything or buy everything, and it was like a bit of weird mix. But now I'm trying to be really intentional with my collection, and everything on it I want either to be not read or read and I've loved it and I might reread it, you know? So this one just doesn't fall into that category, but I did really like it and I think it's gorgeous. But what are you gonna do? Next up we have Agnes at the End of the World by Kelly McWilliams. So I was really fascinated by the plot and the cover, like it's pretty as well. But ultimately I was a bit disappointed. So in this one it's kind of like a cult book. I read it from my Reading Cult Books video, and it talks about this girl Agnes was born and raised in a cult, and they believe that the end of the world is coming, and they're very separated. But because her brother has diabetes, he needs insulin, and that's why she gets in contact with the real world and kind of like gets to know the people there. It was a weirdly religious book, like weirdly, like to a weird degree that I don't know what I was trying to say. But yeah, the main character is basically Messiah. So I was like, interesting. I didn't dislike it though. I thought it was interesting. It was just so different than anything I'm used to. Like, I never pick up a book like this knowing, I probably wouldn't pick up a book knowing what it was like. But having read it, I found it super fascinating and actually had a good time. But just, again, not something I'd reread. It's only a standalone, so it's not like I'm collecting a series or whatever. Okay, this book, I'm debating, okay? I'm not sure if I'm getting rid of it, but I think I might. So this one is A Song of Race and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. So this one is a YA fantasy, and we follow a boy who gets into a deal with a djinn. I think it's a djinn or some kind of monster, and he has to kill the princess, and the princess wants to get married so that she can kill a king and perform a magic ritual. A kind of enemies to lovers. Like, I really enjoy this and I'm gonna read the sequel for sure. I just don't think I'm gonna buy the sequel. I think I'll just either listen on script or get it from the library. And because of that, I don't want to have just one single book from a series, but then I have to buy 2 books. And I bought this one because I thought it was gorgeous, and like I still think it's gorgeous. It's just, I don't think the second one is as gorgeous. Or maybe I just prefer the green. So why keep it, you know, if it's just gonna be one book from a series. And the last book I'm going to be unhauling is The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. So this is a special Illuminae edition. I just didn't really love the book, so I don't see the point of keeping it. It is also signed, but I think I'm past my phase of signed books. Also, I still enjoy signed books if I went to an event and the author signed it there for me with my name or whatever. Like, that's still quite exciting. But because that one's just like a mass signing, like, doesn't really hold a special place in my heart because of that. But yeah, this one is an adult LGBTQ plus lesbian fantasy. We follow to Remain, I think her name is, and she's a soldier, and she gets involved in this plot by a princess to kind of talk to the rebels or whatever, and it's like the princess guard romance. Ultimately, I was a bit disappointed. I don't know, it just didn't gel with me. Ultimately, I would say that it was okay, and some people I'm sure will love it, and they will love this beautiful signed edition, but it was just like, for me, it was like fine, but like, I'm not about to lose my mind, and it's just so big, takes up so much space, it's heavy, we don't have space for that. But yeah, overall, I would recommend this. If a military fantasy sounds like something for you, then I'd check it out. But I was just like, it's fine. Okay, so this is it for the books that I'm going to be unhauling. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you don't judge me too hard for unhauling these. Doesn't mean I didn't love them, doesn't mean anything at all really. It just means that I think they deserve a new home and they deserve to make someone new happy, so that's good. Have you read any of these and do you think I'm making a mistake? What's a recent book you unhauled? Let me know why you did it. Why do you unhaul books, or do you not unhaul books ever? You just always hold on to it. I think that's the only way to make those big collections people have. But like maybe if I'm older, but right now I just don't have the space. Like I'm moving too much to have that many books with me, you know. Already they're becoming a bit of a nuisance in that sense. I hope you enjoyed this video, my first ever unhaul. I had a lot of fun. I think letting go of some physical clutter can be very freeing, and now I have all the space for new books, and I'm very excited for my new bookshelf. I'll definitely show it to you guys, whether in a vlog or a dedicated video. You can actually tell me, let me know when I do have a bookcase. I'll be sure to show it to you. If you enjoyed the video, if you could comment, like, and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!